I tried to plan everything like to a T to work out, but as you know, life don't work out like that. You can have a plan, you can have it written down, you can have alarm set, you can have reminders, but life is gonna do whatever it want to do and take you just off of whatever plan that you created. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm looking at the time like, okay, well, yeah, and I'm like, well, what do we need to do if you want to stay for a second tape? And he's like, well, just go back out into the holding check-in area and let them know you're staying for a second show. So I'm thinking like, okay, I think at this time I want to say it was probably like 4:30. Our flight left. I want to say it left like at maybe 7:30. No, the flight left at 8 o'clock. Our flight left at 8 o'clock, but we still had to return our rental vehicle. We had rented a vehicle through Turo, and we had to still return the rental vehicle. So I'm just like, okay, can I make this work? Not knowing like it was gonna take. In my mind, we're gonna stay for the second show. We're gonna return this vehicle. We're gonna hop on this plane, and we're gonna go back to Las Vegas and go about our business. If you can guess, it didn't quite happen like that. So, um, on the way back to the holding area, and I was just kind of like, should we stay? And my daughter, of course, she was like, yeah, I want to stay. I'm like, girl, we got a flight to catch. She didn't care about that flight. So I had to text the host of the vehicle. So if you've ever rented through Turo, you can have a conversation with the host through the app. And if you're needing to keep the car any longer, you need to communicate that with them. Otherwise, they can not fine you, but I guess, bill you more for keeping the car over to the time that you requested. So I hurry up and send a message to the host like, hey, I'm going to keep the car for like, I think I said 2 more hours or 3 more hours or something like that, because in my mind, I figured, hey, we're going to go to the second taping. The producer said it was real fast. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's quick. We good. We're going to be in and out, and then return this car, catch our flight, go home. So we go to the holding area. We're sitting here waiting, and I was actually able to extend the car for a couple of hours. So I'm just thinking like, okay, we're good. So we line up and we kind of go through the whole checkpoint thing again, and then they take us back into the area where like the lounge is for the Jennifer Hudson gear, and kind of like where you go next to go to the audience where the stage is at. This time we're kind of, the first time we were sitting kind of like kind of in the middle row. I can't remember if it was like the fourth row, but we were up front for the most part. We had a really good view. When we came back the second time for the second show that evening, we were kind of like on the right side. So if you're facing Jennifer Hudson, we were kind of like, we would have been on her. I guess it would be her left, but kind of on but my right. So we were sitting on that side, and when the show started, Jennifer was so kind because my daughter was screaming, she was yelling, and Jennifer Hudson kept pointing to my baby and telling her happy birthday. So that's all we needed right there. We was like, oh, she's seen us, I can die happy, you know. But we were still excited. We were good with just that. She waved and she kept pointing to my daughter and telling her happy birthday because my daughter had on a birthday crown. So I'm like, okay, we good, we in there. She spoke to us. Um, so the show goes on, and the show ends. And this time around, my daughter was like, I want to talk to her. I'm like, girl, they can't, we listen, they kicking us out. I'm like, we got a flight to catch. They're not going to let us talk to her. So my daughter, she had a look on her face. And if you are a parent, mama bear, I was just like, my baby wanted like, and in my mind, I'm like, Lord, if there's any way, like, I'm just in my mind, of all things to pray about, I was praying that we have the opportunity to meet Jennifer Hudson. I'm just in my mind like, Lord, if there's any way, make it happen. If there's any way, make it happen. Because listen, I trust and believe God for all things, big and small. So, I'm just in my mind like, Lord, if there's any way. So my daughter, she was like walking towards her, and one of the producers stopped her, and he was like, oh, you can't go down there. And my daughter had a bag in her hand because I'd gotten her a shirt from the lounge, and the producer thought that we were trying to give the shirt to Jennifer Hudson. I don't know why he thought we was giving Jennifer a Jennifer shirt, but he was like, "Oh, you want us to give it to her?" I was like, "No," and he was like, "Oh, okay." And then he just was like, "Forget it." I guess he was over it. He just walked like by. He first stopped us, and then he just walked right by us. There was another lady in the audience that was sitting behind us, and she was like, "You know what? Just let her go down there. I got y'all back." I don't know this lady from nobody in the world. But she was like, I got y'all back. And I'm like, I don't know how she got our back. I don't know if she was gonna tackle security. I don't know. This lady was gonna I don't know what she was gonna do. She said she got our back. And listen, I believed her. So I let my daughter go. And when she said she had our back, I had my baby back, of course. So I sent my daughter. My daughter got close enough. Jennifer started coming to the audience, and then she was hugging people and talking to people. And I told my baby, I said, go, 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 go. So my baby had the chance to go to Jennifer. Jennifer gave her a hug and she talked to her. She's like, "It's your birthday." Gave my baby the biggest hug, and we were so happy about that. And here I go, like a little old lady trying to get down the stairs. I said, "Hey, hey, I'm her mama. I'm the mama." And Jennifer was like, "You're her mom," and I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm sitting here, and we just looking at each other. Jennifer, she was so sweet, but I'm looking at her like, "Oh." I bet she was like, "This lady crazy," but she's the sweetest, sweetest person. So listen, all of this is going on. My brain I forgot, girl, you got a plane to catch. You got a car to return and a plane to catch. So um at this point, I'm like, okay, we gotta go. So we were so excited, we were so elated. It was like, oh, we met Jennifer Hudson. We both had a chance to hug her at that time because she came up into the audience. So I'm like, I was so happy. So at this time, I'm like, okay, we gotta go. So we rush, and of course, there's so many people trying to get out at the end of the show, and we were in her show tapes in Burbank, California. We had to drive back to Los Angeles because we flew out of LAX. That's almost an hour drive, especially with traffic. So I had to return the car and get the flight left at 8 o'clock. I had to return the car, and by the time we had to return the car, and then from where we had to return the car, we had to catch a shuttle to back to the airport. Needless to say, by the time I returned the car, by the time we got on the shuttle, it was 5 minutes after 8:05. The flight left at 8 o'clock, not boarded, not closed the doors, but left at 8 o'clock. So 8:05, and I'm still about 7 minutes away from the airport. I'm like, okay, we didn't miss this flight. And I'm like, man. But still in my mind, I'm like, well, if I didn't met Jennifer Hudson, I catch another flight. It's no big deal, you know? So we both sitting here like, we missed our flight, but we met Jennifer Hudson, and just kind of like, oh well, life goes on. So we finally get to the airport, and I was going to book another flight to try and leave that night, but there was no more flights leaving that night. So I booked a flight for 2 o'clock the next day, and we ended up staying at the airport. And for one, I'll tell you, that was my first time being at LAX. And when I tell you, that is not an airport that you want to be at overnight. At least not for me. It was like nowhere to sit. It wasn't no carpet nowhere. It was just uncomfortable, So at first it was like we were so excited because we had got to meet Jennifer Hudson. I booked another flight. We're going home. But after so long of waiting, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm ready to go home. It was just, I'm not gonna lie, it was miserable waiting at the airport. And it was just like, okay. I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna complain. It's okay. It's gonna be all right. So um oh, and let me back up. So anytime you go to the show, if you ever get tickets to the show, um, sometimes they'll send you, and they've done it for me every time I've gone, but I think they do it for a lot of people. They'll send you a questionnaire. It's got different questions about like who you are, why you're visiting the show, are you celebrating anything special, and then on my questionnaire, and I guess it was on other people's too, but on the questionnaire, it was a question that said, and I had filled this out before we had even gone to the show, but just kind of backing up here. The questionnaire said, it was a question that said, would you it was basically like, would you want Jennifer to teach you anything, or is there anything that you want her to teach you? And it gave like examples of like your makeup, how to cook a dish, how to sing, different stuff like that. And I'm like, yeah, teach me how to ride a bike. Now people laugh because at my big age, no, I do not know how to ride a bike. I never learned. I've tried and it just didn't work for me. I just wasn't a bike rider. I'm a car driver, and I can drive a car. I can drive the mess out of a car, but a bike with two wheels, and you just kind of, no, I never learned how to ride a bike, which is okay. And then when I share my story, I realized a lot of other people, a lot of other adults couldn't ride a bike. Some people laughed about it. Some people thought it was funny and they made jokes about it. I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. Everybody can't do everything. But anyways, So I put on my questionnaire that I would love to have her teach me how to ride a bike, and I was jokingly like, oh, I'm gonna put this on here, I'm like, and if she picks me, she can teach me how to ride a bike. Never in a million years did I ever think that was gonna go anywhere. I didn't think that she would even, I just, in my mind, I don't know how to ride a bike. They asked me, what do I want her to teach me something? I want her to teach me how to ride a bike. In faith, I said, oh, she gonna teach me how to ride a bike. I'm gonna be on this show. She gonna teach you how to ride a bike. Never thought nothing else about it. That was the end of it. So again, here we are at this airport, sitting here like some little kids, just grinning because we done met Jennifer Hudson. We done hugged Jennifer Hudson, but yeah, we done missed our flight. And here we are sitting at this airport waiting on the flight to come for the next day. And we're just chilling. We finally found us something to eat. We found us a Starbucks. And we just chilling. We just like, okay, we're stuck in the airport, walking around the airport, and we're just in the airport waiting, just in the airport waiting. And the day that we were supposed to, the next day, we were supposed to leave the next day. And um, the flight was supposed to leave at 2 o'clock. And I got a call on my phone, probably, I want to say maybe like at 1 o'clock. The flight was supposed to leave at 2. And I think the call came through at 1 o'clock. And it was a number I didn't know. I don't answer numbers I don't know. I don't know about other people, but I don't answer numbers I don't know. If you're not saved in my phone, you're very likely not gonna get answered. Um, Hopefully it's not an emergency. If it is, don't call me because I'm not the best person to call because I'm not gonna answer. Um, I'm just not gonna answer. But the number called back from a different. So okay, it called from like, I feel like it was like a, I don't know, like a Washington number. I don't know. It was some number I knew I wasn't gonna answer, but when they hung up and called back, they called back from a California area code. And I was like, Burbank, California?